partner cheated for 6+ years secretly and then made it public. I, 29F, was with my partner, 30M, for over 6 years. We started dating my senior year of college. We were in the same city at first, and then he lost his job about 6 months into dating. At that point, he moved home across the country, and I stayed to work and was pretty happy in my own life. COVID then hit, so we were apart, but for the next 2 to 3 years, we visited each other, traveled together, and with my work trips I traveled to his city and saw him every week for a year of this. He then at the end of COVID got a new job in his city, and I decided that I didn't want to do long distance anymore. I got a new, better job with relocation money and sold my condo in my city in a span of less than 3 months and moved across the country. I didn't realize it then, but it was a big choice. I moved away from my hometown/city where I grew up, went to college and worked, my friends and family, to be in his home city with his friends and family. We got an apartment together and I moved my cat as well. We were happy for about a year, and then he brought up looking at rings one day when we were in a mall. Over the next 3 to 4 months we talked rings. We planned a trip to Europe, unrelated, and he proposed in Europe on the trip. Then I think that was his OSH*T moment after the proposal. He started to bring up problems he had, things that he didn't bring up for 4 to 5 years at this point. I was surprised at the issues he brought up because I didn't believe I had changed much, and we had lived together for at least a year at this point. Our jobs were stable, we had good friends, and we hosted often. I truly believe he just wasn't ready to settle. I was his first real girlfriend. I dated before him, and he had thoughts of what if there's someone better out there. About 6 months after the proposal, he traveled to Asia for 3 weeks for work. I visited him for 1 week, and after I left he went on a group tour and met a girl solo traveling. Apparently they spent half a day, just the two of them, after this tour, and when he came back he was Facebook calling her every other night. He did not tell me about her, and I found out when I saw his location was not at the gym when he told me he was going to the gym. Instead, he was calling her, and one night I tried to call him on Facebook Messenger, and it gave me, "This user is already on a call," error. Once I saw this, I confronted him, asked to read their messages, and he basically said something like, "Oh, because we have problems, my mind, even if it's subconscious, is wandering." I didn't know what to say. The messages were pretty innocent, could be between friends, and I simply told him, "You have non-platonic thoughts about this girl, so you have to stop, otherwise it's not okay." He told me he stopped talking to her. 9 months later, we had gone to couples therapy, tried to work out our problems, and honestly, I think we tried. He started to shut down, and every time we tried to have a discussion, he would say, "I can't do this." That turned to, "I want to break," which turned to, "I want to break up." Looking back, I stayed in this for too long, and as he was sliding out the door, I should have removed myself. At some point, he started to talk to her again. This, I believe, was when he asked and I agreed to continue living in the same app but not speak to each other. That arrangement obviously was not helpful. After 9 months of not talking, he claims, he told me after the week that he had feelings for her, and then a week later he said he wanted to do something for himself for once and wanted to pursue those feelings. Call it a quarter-life crisis. Call it feeling oppressed by immigrant parents. At that point, I needed to remove myself or lose self-respect, and I said, "Let's break up." He moved home, his parents were close by, and for the next 2 months we worked through the logistics of moving out. Less than a couple of weeks after we officially broke up, his guy friends followed her on IG. She's private with only a couple hundred followers, so he must have introduced her. I later learned less than 2 months later he went to Asia to see her. And then soon after, a couple's IG profile popped up with their selfie as the profile pic and "Our story, written with love, by love, for love" as the tagline. Everything about this is disgusting. From his friends following her, we hosted them at our place at least once every 3 weeks. We saw them every other week. I invited them into my home, to this public rebound without any care about what people may think. His friends have said, "Wow, he's making it obvious he cheated with so little time in between." I'm glad I am no longer with someone with this poor character and have learned valuable lessons for the future. I am also protective of losing my autonomy in future relationships and the power imbalance that happened here. I was with him for almost 3 years when he was unemployed. He told me himself that he felt like I was the only one who supported him, as his parents were making him feel bad about his situation, and he didn't want to open up to friends. Then once he got the good job again, he felt like he could raise all the issues he never did and disrespect me. I have always been capable and worthy of someone who values me, and I regret not seeing it sooner. I should have ended it at least a year before.